In Nigeria, many young women living with diabetes are told one thing: you cannot have children. I was told this countless number of times. I lost count, to be honest. Some are even rejected in relationships. Some lose hope before they even try. But today, excuse me, but today I am here in person to tell you that this is not the truth about diabetes and pregnancy. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nkiruka and I live with type 1 diabetes, and today I want to talk about something deeply personal and important. Pregnancy and diabetes in Nigeria, the fears young women face, and how I successfully had two healthy pregnancies. This is not just a story that I'm picking out of the blues. This is evidence that motherhood is possible with diabetes, even in low resource settings. So this is my lived experience. In section 1, we'll talk about the real concerns in Nigeria. So I'm going to look at the contextual reality, and I will be very honest. For many young women living with type 1 or type 2 diabetes in Nigeria, prospects of marriage are affected. You are labeled high risk in quotes without any vivid explanation. Families even discourage you from getting pregnant. The healthcare access is very inconsistent, and modern technologies like the CGM or insulin pump are not always available. And the biggest fear: I will not survive pregnancy. Will my baby be healthy? To be honest with you, I had all these fears, and it's very valid for you to feel this way. It's valid and only natural. So we head off to section 2. What people actually get wrong. So this is me myth busting. Now I need us to correct this narrative. Diabetes does not mean you cannot conceive. Diabetes does not automatically mean complications, and diabetes does not mean having unhealthy babies. The real issue here is uncontrolled blood sugar plus lack of education. Section 3, what pregnancy with diabetes really requires. Very interesting, so you guys pay attention. Pregnancy with diabetes is highly manageable, and I repeat, pregnancy with diabetes is highly manageable, but you have to be very, very intentional about it. You need, number 1, preconception planning. You need your blood sugars to be very, very, very stable, and you need consistent monitoring. But basic structured care, even in low, medium, and income settings, all I have just mentioned is very, very achievable with proper discipline and the right knowledge. Section 4, now my story time, my lived experience. I successfully had two pregnancies while living with type 1 diabetes, and I managed it without insulin pump, no CGM. I used multiple daily insulin injections and my SMBG, that is the blood glucose monitor, and yet I achieved very good glycemic control, and I carried both pregnancies successfully, and I delivered my two healthy babies. What helped me was not expensive tools, not at all. It was actually understanding my diabetes deeply. Section 5. Here I'm going to talk about the practical strategies that I used when I was pregnant. So here is what exactly worked for me and what can even work for many women in Nigeria. The first and foremost is you need to know your numbers. So you need to monitor your blood sugars frequently. Yes, I know test strips are difficult to come by, they're quite expensive, but the cost should be you want to have a healthy pregnancy and you a healthy mom. So you need to monitor your blood sugar levels frequently, and then you need to track your patterns. So you need to know what causes a spike or a low in the morning, your post meal, and at night. So keep a record of all of this, is very important. And number two, you need to prioritize stability over perfection by avoiding extreme high blood sugars or low blood sugars. Actually focus on consistency and not perfection. Excuse me. And number three, nutrition within your culture. Honestly, you don't need any foreign diets. Eat your local foods, but portion control, balance your carbs with your proteins and vegetables, and be very, very mindful of your meal timing. So number four, I'm going to talk about meal timing and the circadian rhythm. That is your biological clock system. You need to reduce late night eating, align your meals with your body's natural rhythm. So this actually helps reduce all the glucose spikes. Number five, insulin awareness. You need to learn how to adjust your insulin doses gradually. You need to avoid insulin stacking. I talked about insulin stacking in one of my videos, so you can always go back to my channel and rewatch that video and understand in more detail what insulin stacking is if this is your first time on my channel. And you also need to learn how your body responds to insulin and meals that you have eaten. Number six, you need to be always prepared for hypos. Always carry your glucose tablets, your cubes of sugar, your orange juice, your fizzy drink, whatever you feel like using to treat a hypo. You should always be on, it should always be on your person, in your car, wherever you're going to. You must always have a glucose-based drink or your sweeties with you to quickly treat a hypo, because hypos are quite frequent during pregnancy. And never ignore the symptoms. For me, my own case was really weird. My hypo symptoms actually switched with my hyper symptoms. So whenever I had those high symptoms, my blood sugars were actually low. It's strange. I can't even explain why that is. It's one of those things we come across, I guess. So just like I said earlier on, you need to monitor your body, understand your body and all the changes. And then number seven, we'll talk about the mental strength. This journey of living with diabetes and pregnancy is not just a physical journey. You must overcome fear, you must overcome stigma, and most importantly, you must overcome external opinions. Always stick to the opinions of your clinicians. Block your ears against external opinions, especially those coming from non-medical professionals. And then number six, section 6, we're going to be breaking this myth. Let me say this clearly and categorically. A woman who lives with diabetes can get pregnant. You can get pregnant. Women of Nigeria, low, medium income countries, please hear this. You can get pregnant living with diabetes. A woman living with diabetes can deliver safely. A woman living with diabetes can have very healthy children. Even in Nigeria, you can have healthy children, even without all the advanced technology. To every young woman watching this video, Do not let society define your future. You are very, very capable, you are strong, and you are worthy of motherhood. Your condition requires more intention and less possibility. So, section 7, my call to action. So, this is a focus for the low and medium income countries. We need to actually improve education at the community level, and we need to normalize preconception counseling as a norm for all women living with diabetes, whether type 2 or type 1. We need to address this cultural stigma around women with diabetes. We also need to provide affordable access to insulin and blood glucose monitoring tools. If this video gave you hope, please, I would like you to like, share, and you subscribe. Send it to any young woman who needs this message. Remember, diabetes does not stop motherhood. Lack of education does. So this is me blowing healthy kisses your way, and I look forward to the next video with you all seated back and enjoying. So thank you once again for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.